She ruled for 54 years. She taught the Portuguese colonizers a lesson that they would never forget. The ruthless religious persecution by the Portuguese would have erased many communities if not for her. Who was this queen? Welcome to Itihasa Series, taking you to your roots. Every generation is a bridge. It needs to pass on the collected wisdom from the past to the younger generations. Let's get informed and inspired by Itihasa. In the mid-16th century, the Battle of Talikota between Aliya Ramaraya of Vijayanagara and Deccan Sultanates resulted in Ramaraya's defeat and beheading. Vijayanagara had mandala or provinces which were decentralized and run by royal families called Mahamandaleshwaras. These broke into many independent kingdoms. One such kingdom was Gerusapa in northwestern Karnataka, ruled by the Saluva dynasty. In this dynasty, a jewel was born, Chennabhairadevi, a queen who ruled for a staggering 54 years, a feat unheard of from any Indian queen. But how did she manage to do so? Chennabhairadevi's rule was characterized by the 3 T's: tactics, trade, and tradition. So let's go to Chennabhairadevi's first T, tactic. Chennabhairadevi became the queen of Gerusapa when she was just 18 in the year 1552. Soon after, she was given a rather warm welcome by the neighboring Bilgi kingdom, which attacked her, sensing opportunity. But Bilgi had underestimated her. She beat them back. Shortly after this, the Portuguese attacked. Wonder of wonders, Chennabhairadevi defeated them too. A new queen and 2 victories already. She kept her army alert and built forts in strategic locations. She also made a tactical alliance with the Adil Shah of Bijapur to provide her military help in return for paying some royalties. Later, in 1569, the Portuguese asked her for tax and tributes on her trade. They threatened her that they would burn down her city, but she did not budge. A few days later, she got a tip that the Portuguese were coming to Honnavara with their fully armed navy. The queen went to fight them carrying a gun herself. She rained bullets and cannons on the enemy even before they could touch the shore. They were taken by surprise, but still mounted a fierce attack. Chennabhairadevi became Ranachandi incarnate. She moved around like lightning, encouraging her soldiers despite the superior weapons of the Portuguese. After a 4-day battle, the Portuguese bit the dust. In 1571, multiple forces came together. Gerusapa's queen Chennabhairadevi, Kerala's Zamorin, Ahmednagar Sultanates, Bijapur's Adil Shah, all of these people came together to drive the Portuguese away. This was perhaps one of the earliest united attempts to drive out European colonizers. In a way, the notion that 1857 was the first coordinated attempt to throw out European colonizers is false. Chennabhairadevi was so formidable that a Portuguese record from 1591 says we must deal with her most carefully and diplomatically. We must be very courteous, polite, and diplomatic to win her over to our side. But then, Why were people constantly attacking a rather small kingdom? It's the second T, trade. There was a name the Portuguese gave her, Rainha da Pimenta, meaning the pepper queen. Chennabhairadevi anticipated the growing demand for white pepper and made a huge profit exporting it. Her pepper was much sought after. Ports in her kingdom like Honnavara and Bhatkal were part of national and international trade routes that delivered horses and weapons from Arabia and Persia to Indian kingdoms. We have all heard of ease of doing business, haven't we? Chennabhairadevi ensured it 5 centuries ago by giving free licenses to sell goods. She simplified the business by using silver coins in her kingdom. She charged tariffs from businessmen of other states and earned a lot. In fact, Chennabhairadevi was so shrewd when it came to business that despite having so many wars with the Portuguese, she maintained diplomatic relations with the governor of Goa for the sake of flourishing exports to Europe. Due to her business acumen, her kingdom became one of the richest in the region at the time. No wonder others wanted to attack her. But Chennabhairadevi wasn't just about tactics or trade. She was also defined by the third T, tradition. Chennabhairadevi, a Jaina herself, built a beautiful Chaturmukha Basadi while also patronizing Shaiva, Vaishnava and Shakta temples in her region. She was also famous for her land grants given to various mathas. In contrast, right next door, a hellish dance of religious bigotry was being enacted. In southern Goa, a priest called D'Souza was actively involved in imposing Christianity at the expense of native religions. In 1567, Diogo Rodriguez, the commander of the fort of Rachol, vandalized 280 Hindu temples. The brutality of the Portuguese soldiers towards Hindu women was unimaginable. Forced marriages, forcing them to become mistresses and concubines. Forcing even underage girls were very common. By 1560, the Brahmin women of the entire islands of Diwar and Shorao had been forcibly converted. Unable to bear the persecution, massive waves of refugees fled to Gerusapa as they had heard about the just and compassionate rule of Chennabhairadevi. She accepted them, she embraced them, and even employed them as sailors, boat builders, blacksmiths, and carpenters. The refugees worked in the ports, made horse-drawn carriages, and built a wide network of roads in the entire state. She was following the age-old tradition of helping the persecuted, and that too worked out to her economic benefit. Chennabhairadevi was fondly called Avvarasi, which means Queen Mother, for her love and care towards the people. However, all good things must come to an end, and so did her rule. 2 neighboring kingdoms, Bilgi and Keladi, came together and finally managed to defeat her. The queen was taken in as a prisoner. One wonders if only Indians had come like this together to fight outsiders rather than fighting each other. Anyway, the great queen who strode across the region like a skillful chess player, outwitting multiple adversaries, died in a jail in Keladi. Chennabhairadevi was a warrior, administrator, and business magnate rolled into one. Such successful women are not anomalies in Indian history, where a number of them have made their mark. But even among them, Chennabhairadevi stands tall. Chennabhairadevi, perhaps the longest ruling queen in India, most people have never heard of. But now it is time to speak our history loud and clear.